Hello and welcome to RollerDB. Today I am going to talk about filters. When you log into your account, typically you would see all of the records you've created over time. Some of these records are current, some of them are for birds that no longer are alive or you don't have in your loft or are owned completely by someone else. And it may be overwhelming to see several hundred pigeon records appear in your account. So I created filters to help you narrow down just what you want to see when you first log on. As you can see here, I have 462 records in my database. It would be very troublesome for me to try to find a pigeon in this bunch just by eyesight. So instead of cluttering my space with all of these birds, I want to just concentrate on the birds that are important to me. So with filters, I can actually narrow down the birds that are shown when you first log on and just show the ones that you're interested in, quite possibly just the ones you have in your loft today. So filters appear up here in the submenu for pigeons. If you don't have any filters set up, you won't see this drop down. I currently have several of them, and as I'll show you in a bit, we'll create one and show you how to test it and how to install it as a default filter. So just to give you an example of what this does, I have a filter called My Current Birds. If I set it and apply it, I'm going to see just the birds that I'm interested in, the birds that are in my loft today. Of the 462, I only have 59 birds that I really care about on a day-to-day basis. So when I log on, these are the birds I see, and my space isn't cluttered with records for birds that are no longer in my loft or that I just don't really care about. So let's go ahead and start creating a new filter, and I'll show you how this works. So you can create new filters by going under Options, and in the submenu for Options you'll see something called All Filters. If you don't have any filters yet, you won't see obviously any filters here, but you can create a brand new one by clicking Create a New Filter. First you give the filter a name. In this case, I want to find all hens that are black or have black in them and that are marked standby. I typically mark my birds with one of four status names. For example, one would be standby, one is breeding, one is on loan, and one is flying. There may be more or less in your system of keeping records. It's totally up to you. You can make things as simple as possible, and stick to a few status names, and by doing so, you'll know exactly what to filter on with the status. So let's go ahead and name this Black Hens in My Loft. Okay. Filters work by creating a series of conditions for the criteria. The very first condition is going to be, in this case, hen as sex. So we choose sex from the drop down, and you can either choose excludes words or includes words. In this case, we want to include the word hen. As you can see here, we're generating the filter as we go. Now you can actually test these filters as you build them by clicking down here at Run Test Search. So I'm going to go ahead and click it, and the results that I get should be every hen in my record set, which is still a lot and still very cumbersome to get around. So I'll filter some more. I'll add another condition and say birds that have the status of standby, because that's generally what I mark my birds with. And as you can see here, we've augmented the filter. So now it says sex is hen and status is standby. So we can run the test search again, and now you'll see hens that are marked standby. So we're not done yet because we want to find black hens. So we'll add another condition, say and color includes the words black. And again, you'll see that the filter was augmented, and we can run the test search again, and here we go. We have all the hens that are marked standby, which are black, or have black in them. Once you've narrowed down the criteria, the set of conditions for your criteria for this filter, then you can save the filter, and you'll see it appear in your list of filters. So if we look down here, here's the filter we just created, black hens in my loft. And you can run a test search on them again. You can actually run these test searches at any time. It doesn't affect the data. You can see the results down here. And now, once you have this built and tested, you can set it as the default. So the next time you log in and you click the Pigeons tab, that default filter gets applied to your set of records, and all you see is birds that fit that criteria. You'll also see all of the other filters here, and you can play around with them. I typically have my filter set to my current birds, and that'll show just the 59 birds that are in my loft today. And this should hopefully answer a lot of questions out there. And if there's any trouble or questions, you can always go to the forum and place a question there, and I'm happy to answer it. And that should do it for today. So thank you.